All right, hello there and welcome. My name is Santi. It's good to have you here. What this video is going to be about is my first impressions at Rome Research. Now, just a bit of background, I am the creator of the Obsidian Power User online course, which is a very good alternative to Rome. Obsidian, if you want to learn more about it, I have other videos on it, and this course compiles everything that there is to know about Obsidian so that you can take your notes at to the next level and so on. But the main reason why I want to still take a look at Rome Research, which is a really, really powerful tool that we're going to look into in a second, is mostly because as powerful as Obsidian is, I don't think it's an all-in-one solution. Rome kind of tries to be a bit more of, I don't think Obsidian is the best for task management, for instance. I've tried it a lot and I've tried to push its boundaries, but currently at the state it's at, I don't think it's a place to manage all your projects and do all your, to-dos. But Obsidian, it is a place to take notes and do all this personal knowledge management that people like you and I really love. So the reason why I want to take a look at Rome is because there's tons of features in Rome that really allow you to bring together, close that gap between notes for learning and also managing your to-dos and your projects. So that's why I'm so interested. And also because if you stick to the end of the video, there's an alternative to Rome that kind of combines the best of Obsidian and the best of Rome in one app. So I'm really excited for that. But before doing that, I did want to take a look at the official Rome because I never created an account before and I never properly used Rome. So that is why I wanted to take a proper look at it before anything else. So right now, I'm just gonna kind of skip a bit the process because I don't, have to see me creating my account and so on. So yeah, be right back in 1 second. All right, cool. So now I already added my email, created my password and so on. And I also had to put my credit card for the 30-day free trial. And, that's the thing that is kind of annoying, the fact that you can't even test the product without putting a credit card. I understand why they do it. They definitely deserve to be paid for their great work, but it's kind of annoying. So just a bit of a, minor thing. And again, these are just my first impressions, not a full comprehensive review because I definitely need to be more familiar with the software in order to be more comprehensive. But what we're gonna do now is before we jump straight into this, what I want to show you is some of the parameters that I'm looking for. And here's something I have in Obsidian just to show you. And these are some of the things that I really look into when I start considering a new app or anything like that. So one of the things is style, okay? And if we open this, I'm gonna talk a lot about dark mode because personally, I don't like using programs that don't have a dark mode. I know it's kind of like nitpicking on something, but I really don't like looking at a screen for that long, especially if the screen is super bright. It's really annoying. So dark mode for me is a must. That is the reason why, as you can see here in Obsidian, I created my own dark theme. There's a lot of awesome themes in Obsidian. But yeah, the style, the aesthetic of the whole app is very important to me, and more important than anything is probably dark mode. Now, shortcuts are essential. I come from using Spacemacs and Vim. In case you're familiar with those, they are software that basically function without a mouse. So everything is a shortcut and it's amazing. So I highly recommend those apps, but they're really difficult to get started with or master, which is why I think something like Obsidian, Rome, these more user-friendly apps are a lot better because it won't be breaking on you all that much and you don't have to fix things, you don't have to be a programmer in order to use them. So that's mainly the reason why I use Obsidian and why I definitely think Rome could be amazing. And it seems like Rome, because I've watched a couple of tutorials here and there, a lot of the people I admire use Rome. So the shortcuts seem to be really good. So yeah, I'm excited for that. Now, functionality for me is about the workflow and features. So when I'm referring to the workflow is how good it is to use the app, how good it is to develop something that works for you. If the purpose is to take notes, how easy it is to do that. If the purpose it is to manage your to-dos, how good you can do that, right? With the features, of course, right? So we're gonna look into that, of course. And then one of the most important things, at least for me, is data ownership, which just means making your nodes future-proof. By this I mean mainly using plain text files, right? Plain text file is something like when a file ends in .md, meaning that you can open it in various different software. If you use Obsidian or similar software, that's what Obsidian works. That's how it works. It stores all the data, all your files in your computer, and you can sync this in Dropbox or anything, but the idea is that you own your files. So if you ever want to move to another application, you can freely do that, and it's not going to be that hard. Of course, there's applications like Roam where you can export, but I don't think it's the same. I think it's better to own your data. There seems to be a feature in Roam where you can create local graphs, because a graph is kind of like where you store all of your notes. But it seems to be only available for, their package of $500 per 5 years. We're going to talk about pricing at the very end, because definitely that's something debatable in Roam. It's kind of pricey, especially compared to something like Obsidian that is free. But again, a full comparison of Roam versus Obsidian should probably be another video. So right now we're going to keep things centered in Roam. Okay, so now if we go to Roam in here, we can see that the very first step, here is telling me more about my subscription, how you can add a Scholar's Code, which seems like a really good thing. But right now we're just going to go with this 30-day trial. And yeah, there seems to be is a professional yearly plan without any limitations, which is nice. So first thing we're going to do is create a graph. And I'm just going to call this, let's call it Santi graph. Cool. Graph name already exists. Okay. Santi notes. Let's try that. Okay, that works. Cool. All right. So now what we can see is that there seems to be some, basic video tutorials. This definitely seems useful. I've seen a few by other creators, so I do have an idea of how things work slightly, and we're mostly gonna experiment. So I'm gonna close this, but it looks really good. And now when we're in here, we can see that we can just start writing. So write something. What's really nice is that there is the shortcuts in here. Again, shortcuts are really important. So the fact that you can do a lot of things without using the mouse much is really, really crucial for my workflow particularly. So here, if we take a look at some of the basic things, we get tab, we get shift tab. So if we enter in here, if we enter here and we write something else, we can tab, and that is gonna create this nice little outline that apparently we can fold. Now, okay, I am kind of cheating in here a little bit, because I did start using this other Roam alternative that I'm going to talk about. Is that idea as if Obsidian and Roam had a baby. That is the result. So stick around till the end. I'm going to mention it. I'm not going to break it down right now, but because of that, because it works so similar to Roam, I started getting used to this idea of how the outline works. But either way, I still think it's very intuitive. So if we keep taking a look at it, if we write anything, we tab, we can keep tabbing and so on. And this allows for a very nice workflow. And if we press, as it says in here, shift tab, we can go back and create another heading, right? So here we're gonna do another heading. And there seems to be also, because it supports Markdown. Yeah, it supports Markdown. And in here we can make other things such as highlights. There is a way, if I'm not wrong, I think I saw it a second ago. Yeah, was it at the top? Oh, I'm not sure. Okay, I think there's a way to make headings in a quicker way. Let me take a look. I'm gonna pause it. All right, there it is. Control Alt 1, 2, 3, 0. So if we do a Control Alt 1, this should be a heading 1. If we do a Control Alt 2, it should be a heading 2. Control Alt 3. Heading 3. Okay, so that seems pretty nice. Basically the way Markdown works is with this syntax. So if we were to do the same thing with one hashtag, that should create a heading 1. Yeah, this one was a 1 as well. But yeah, that's basically just how Markdown works. Let's see if I press escape and we can delete things nicely. Okay, that's really nice. And in here, let's test here, bold features, right? So this is just the way Markdown works. If you just put 2 asterisks, that should make it bold. Now, if we make italics, this should be, Markdown usually works with, okay, that's kind of weird, because Markdown usually just works with 1 asterisk is italics and with 2 asterisks is bold. But if we take a look here, it seems to be like you need to do, is this 2 underscores? Yeah, 2 underscores. So, okay, to do italics, you need 2 underscores. apparently. Yeah, okay, that works. All right, so that's kind of an annoyance because Markdown should allow you to just use one asterisk, and that's kind of weird because I don't know. I would like to at least have the possibility to do it. I'm used to doing one asterisk, that's italics, and then two is bold. But apparently they modified this so that it only works if you do italics with two underscores. I mean, this is really personal preference. I would like it if there was at least the ability to choose. Maybe there is somewhere, but not it like it's not obvious if there's a way to change that. Maybe there's no way. Either way, that's fine. Cool. Yeah, it's the kind of thing that you get used to, I believe. But either way, so yeah, the things seem to work. Like you can strike out, you can do highlights, which is nice, and code and so on. Okay, so for instance, let's test doing images. So I'm gonna open up an image that I have in my browser. All right, so for instance, in here, I have this image that I created for my comparison between Obsidian and Notion. And I have a plugin actually in here that allows me to copy things in the style of Markdown, which is a lot quicker. And if we just paste that, like so, then if we press enter, yeah, okay, that renders it properly, and that's really cool. So I also want to see how local images work. I don't need to write work, either way, how local images work. So right now I just open some of my images in here while I post things. And if I just drag and drop this in here, there. Okay, it seems to say something. Let me just close this guy right here. There we go. And it says to keep this file private, don't share this unlisted link. Anyone with the link will be able to see it. Okay, yeah, that's fine. And now we should see an image there, which is quite nice. And apparently it works in the same way that we can just toggle it. You know, we can indent this or shift tab to unindent. And then when we press enter, we just go, you know, out of the editing images. Apparently there's a pencil here where we can change the path of this. And this is just a format in which you put images in Markdown, which is explained in here. There we go. Yeah, image. So that's pretty nice. So what I'm liking so far is that, you know, Rome seems to be based on what you see is what you get, which is usually abbreviated to these letters. Let me show you. Yeah, I just copy pasted this thing here. WYSIWYG. However that thing is pronounced, no idea. But either way, the way it works, well, what it means is what you see is what you get. And the way it works is just that if something is bold, what you see is what you get. But what's nice is that if you click on it, you can actually edit it and you can modify the way it works. I presume the same thing is in headings? Not really. This should reveal the hashtag, but it doesn't. So, but either way, it's very nice because then you don't have to see this clutter of just seeing asterisk and underscores everywhere. I think it's a very nice way to display things, and especially with images, we don't have to see the actual URL of the image because apparently when you upload an image, it goes to Google's API, which is alright, I guess. Yeah, I mean, that's just the way it works. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty nice. It looks really, really cool. So there seems to be quite a few other interesting things, and what I really like is that everything is shortcut based. Now, one thing I don't like so far, and I'm not sure if there's a way to modify this, is that you can't seem to customize the shortcuts to what you want. For instance, right now I just noticed that if you want to undo something, like say, I'm just gonna blah, 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 and then if I want to undo, it's Control Z, like that. But if I want to redo, it's not Control Shift Set, which is what I'm used to, right? It's Control Y, which is kind of annoying because you get used to a certain thing. Like for me, Control Shift Set is intuitive. And yeah, I say set because my girlfriend is from England. You might say Z, right? So Control Z, Control Z, Shift Z. Either way. But either way, the idea is that you need to use Control Y, and there doesn't seem to be any way to change this shortcut, not that I'm aware of. There seems to be other really cool shortcuts. I mean, I wish I could customize this, but either way, I mean, it's not too bad because there seems to be a lot. There seems to be really powerful things. So for instance, expand and collapse. If we press Control up, we seem to be able to collapse, and Control down, we seem to be able to uncollapse or expand. There we go. So that is quite nice. I really like that. There doesn't seem to be a way to collapse everything, like in case I want to collapse everything if everything is open. But you know, that's not that bad. Now there seems to be other things, such as if you go on zoom in, Alt right, that looks cool. Alt right we can zoom in into this setting, and Alt left, we can zoom out. That's really cool because it allows you to quickly just, you know, focus on one specific part that you're working without the clutter having to see the whole outline. So this whole outline thing looks amazing. I want to explore a bit of this functionality of to-dos. So apparently a slash to complete, if we do a slash, okay, there seems to be quite a few different features and they look really cool. So let's just do a to-do. Okay, wash, I don't know, hands often, right? So we can click on that. That's really nice. If we click on it, we can see that it's a to-do. But again, we get this, what you see is what you get, really nicely displayed. And apparently there's tons of more, you know, powerful things that you can do with to-dos, and you can embed them in other pages. So that looks really exciting. So yeah, tons of good features so far. I really like it. Let's just quickly see what else we got in here. Ooh, we got a Pomodoro timer. That's super cool. Start. Okay. I really like that because I carry this watch with me just because it has a stopwatch, and I do Pomodoros all the time. If you don't know what that is, it's just like focusing for a certain amount of time, usually 25 minutes, and then you take a rest. And that is the only way, you know, that's the only way I get to not only focus, but also take breaks. I don't usually take breaks unless I'm forced to, and my Pomodoros help me. But it's really nice to have something built in. Obsidian doesn't have this. I haven't even seen any other app that has it as good as this. This is really amazing, so I'm really impressed by that. Let's see what else there is. Okay, so we can do tomorrow, and we can either click on that. You know, what is nice is that it seems to make this. All right, so yeah, what seems to be really cool is that you can, where is it? Let me see. Okay, follow link under cursor. So if the cursor is in this line right here, if I go Control O, I can just open that one, and that one is tomorrow in my case. Now I can go back here, or let me see if the Firefox shortcut works. Control right bracket, left square bracket. Yeah, that seems to work. And again, if I were to use something like Alt and right arrow, I can zoom into that one, and Alt left arrow, I seem to be able to zoom out of that. So yeah, I mean, I really like the shortcut so far. So I gotta say I'm pretty impressed with that. It looks really, really cool. Let's see how the links just work. How does it work to create different links for different pages? So if we go to, where are we? I'm a bit lost now. Okay. Also, there seems to be a shortcut for just going back to the node, to the daily nodes, yeah, which I think I saw it, and it was, I saw it somewhere. I'm pretty sure it was Alt J. No, it's, let me see. Let's go to tomorrow, Alt J. No, it's not Alt J. That's a band. That's not a shortcut. It's actually, let me check. It's Alt D. Yeah, Alt D works. Cool. So now in here we can just do link to a new page. So now I can open that by just clicking on it. And then in here, of course, I can take more notes, and I can indent things further like that. And now what I really like, what I'm really enjoying, is how these backlinks work. So if you take a look at this, it seems to be like, because this is a new page, it was mentioned in February. And because it was in February, I can see where it was mentioned, right? So let me just close this for now. I can actually go there. Wait, sorry, no, I need to go here. And then I can see that it was mentioned in new page. And if I go to new page, I can see where it was mentioned. So just to test that a bit more, if we just create another page, just like that, that works. And now in here, we can see that in new page that was mentioned. And if we go Alt D to this one, we can of course link to another page. There we go. And again, if I go Control O, I can see another page mentioned in new page and in February. Okay, hopefully that wasn't too confusing, but in general, I do like the idea how all these backlinks, which are bi-directional links, if I mention something in February the 1st into new page, I can see in new page that it was mentioned in February the 1st. So that's really nice. Obsidian does that too. But I really, really love the way in which Rome just captures that in the same page, like at the bottom of the page, because Obsidian has it in a side pane. And again, I don't want to compare too much with Obsidian right now, which is what I'm used to and what I'm really liking about Rome so far. But of course, at least this zooming in feature is something to get used to. If I go back to my daily note, the idea that I can zoom into this, but I'm not necessarily in another page, I'm not necessarily in tomorrow, it's kind of confusing. But I'm sure it's useful because I can definitely see how having all these outlines, it gets overwhelming and you don't know what is where. And if you're not collapsing things often, maybe you just want to focus on one area of it. And that zooming in feature is really, really cool. So, I think it's nice, but it definitely takes getting used to. Now, what else there is? All right, so yeah, let's take a look at this thing right here. So apparently if we go to all pages, we can see all the different pages that we created, and of course we can click on them and go straight to them. We can see how many mentions it has, which is really, really nice. We can see that there's a to-do in here. What happens if it's just to select so that I can delete it. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, cool. So we can see the word count, which is really cool. That is really nice, I like that. And then, I even wonder if you can just see the total word count of your whole, or of all your notes. Yeah, I don't think that's a thing, but either way. So what else we got? We got graph overview. All right, cool. So as you can see, I already created a couple of notes, right? A couple of links across different pages just for testing. And it seems like this to-do is its own individual thing, which is quite interesting. I presume it's mostly because to-dos need to be more flexible. They don't need to be necessarily bound to one specific page, unless it's tied to a due date or the day you created that to-do. But what's interesting is that it creates its own page. And okay, what I really like so far, because right now my very first impression is like, okay, this is like a graph view for peasants. Like if you compare it to the Obsidian graph, it's really, really cool, really colorful, and it's really nice. But I don't think this is for peasants. If anything, I think they created it before Obsidian, so that's not fair on them. But even though it doesn't look as stylish as the Obsidian graph, it seems useful to be able to, drag these ones around and rearrange them, because in Obsidian you can't do that easily. But yeah, what's nice, of course, is that I assume that if you click... okay, so if you click, it just highlights what is it connected to. Is it... Yeah, if you double click, you can just enter that page, which makes perfect sense. Okay, so again, if we go to graph overview, okay, it doesn't seem to keep the arrangements that we do. If I do this thing where new page is over here, and I go to daily note, and then I come back, it seems to rearrange it however it wants. I'm not a big fan of that, but I guess it's fine. Either way. So what else we got? Let's see. So yeah, so far I really like this idea of being able to just indent things quickly. Yeah, like that. Shift tab or just tab. That's really cool. I also really like the idea that it uses a double bracket, which is getting really popular. Obsidian uses it. And here I can just write, well, okay, that's one thing. You see how when I do that double square bracket, nothing appears? I kind of wish that it would suggest things. Now it seems like if I start writing any letter, it starts telling me things that have a letter A in it. But I still wish it suggested maybe the most recent files or something like that, because that'd be really useful. Obsidian does it like that. But yeah, it's not bad. No, the double bracket is actually really good. You can just create anything here, right? And then if you go Control O, yeah, that opens it. And then you can write here and do blah, 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 blah. And yeah, again, you can zoom into if you click on those things. Okay, now, another thing that I wanted to try is, okay, if you have indented things like so, seems like you can easily collapse them, right? But how easy it is to move around. So say I want to change this heading 1 and I want to change it for this one. I think, yeah, okay, so you can drag and drop, which is nice. But is there a shortcut? Let me check. All right, so there seems to be a shortcut for moving a block. So Alt, Shift, and then arrow. Okay, so let's move this one for that one. Alt, Shift, and then up, down. Okay, that's really cool, because then, of course, everything that is inside of heading 1 remains in heading 1. And yeah, okay, that's kind of essential. So I'm really happy it works so easily, because you want to be able to rearrange quickly without having things going messed up. So that's really cool. And yeah, I'm talking from the experience of Obsidian. It's still not as good, especially in Vim mode. Either way, a whole nother topic. But yeah, so I really like the way this works. And yeah, no, so far so good. I mean, I'm really enjoying it so far. I kind of really wish that there was a quick way to just go on dark mode. Where's my dark mode? I don't know, settings. Where are settings? User settings. Let's take a look. Okay, so display brackets, edit icons, cycle, user code, allow, custom components. Okay, that seems cool. It seems like you can modify things with code, which is amazing. Right to left. Okay, that's really accessible for languages that write from right to left. You can reset the default. Cycle namespace. Okay, different ways to preview how things work. Yeah, no dark mode, but yeah, I mean, pretty limiting these settings. I really hope there are more settings. Oops, what did I do? Okay, I got try closing all ROM tabs and reopen. Did it break? Okay, it broke. That's not good. No bueno. let me fix it. I'm gonna fix it and then we'll be back. I had to just, close my browser, restart it again. I do understand that, the software is still beta and it's still developing, same as Obsidian, things break sometimes. And it is annoying to have to face these things, but the biggest annoyance that I've heard people tell stories about Rome is that sometimes it deletes your notes, it deletes your data. Of course, it's beta, and that's kind of like what we sign up to when we, when we want to test an app earlier, and these things are prone to happen. But because it charges you so much still, like it's not like you have a heavy discount for being a beta tester, still kind of annoying. Now, of course, there's a disclaimer to that, because I've heard from other users that if you were a beta tester, if you were testing this over earlier, I think a year ago or so, you had it for free, apparently. I think you needed to give feedback or something in order to remain free. But it still is in beta and it still breaks, and I still hear stories of people losing their data, which is not that good. But yeah, I mean, apart from that, it looks amazing. I'm really enjoying it. It has these nice toggles and everything is a nice outline. And if we just go to our all pages, we can see everything. Apparently, I've seen this in a tutorial. You can just write anything here and you can search, of course, right? But if there's nothing, you can just do a new page by pressing enter. And here you have a new page, which is quite cool, right? So I'm enjoying it so far. There seems to be tons of things that, of course, I haven't explored because I want to make sure this video isn't super long. But yeah, I mean, it's really, really cool so far. Now, I might have to do maybe a part 2. So if you're interested to see me explore Rome research a bit more, let me know. I can definitely try to explore it. I'm going to play with it in the next couple of days. I'm going to try to find how to make it dark. I think there is a way to adjust the CSS, so the code, so that it changes color, which is nice, and it's exactly what I need. So I'm going to explore with that. I'm definitely going to try to see how the task management system of the to-dos work and all of that. But so far, I mean, it's really exciting. Now, with that said, let's go back to our Obsidian and let's take a look at each one of these points. So when it comes to style, I think the style is pretty cool. I think if there is the ability to customize things with CSS, just like doing your different customizations to your colors and your fonts, then that'd be pretty cool. Because so far, I mean, it looks pretty nice. Now shortcuts, this point right here, shortcuts are really cool. I mean, they're very nice. Again, the big disadvantage is that you can't easily customize them. Not that I am aware. There might be a way, there might be a plugin or an extension that you can use, but I'm not sure. I would have to research. The functionality, which are the workflow and the features, this is where it shines. The workflow in Rome, I've seen tutorials, I've seen people using it, and it seems to be just amazing. It seems to flow. You can have your task management, your to-dos, and your notes in the same place, and that is just next level. That is really amazing. Yeah, and again, like in Obsidian, I don't feel like I can do that, although technically you could, but again, I would probably make a video comparing Obsidian to Rome in a completely different video. Now, feature packed, seems to have really cool stuff. Now data ownership, making it future proof, that's where it doesn't shine. That's where it's the reason why I wouldn't pay for it. You know, again, like, it's not so much the price, even though it's kind of pricey. It's more about me being able to own my notes. And if my notes are being held hostage behind a paywall and I have to pay in order to access my notes, I don't like that. I'm happy to pay for features and I'm happy to pay for more advanced versions of the software, but I really don't like the idea of having to pay in order to access the notes that I created. And yes, of course, you can export it, but it's not the same. Like, everything you build in that software in Rome is made to be used in Rome. And thankfully, there are alternatives that take that information and allow you to still use it properly. But again, like, yeah, I wish there was a free version or like some way to just access your notes without having to pay. Again, it's not about paying, it's about owning your notes. If you pay, I pay for the Obsidian features and they're great and they're amazing and I really think they're worth it. But again, like, it's just based on the idea. And let me show you this. Like, this is one of the features I pay in Obsidian, which is a place where I can host all my notes. Actually, this be really interesting because I have my Zettelkasten notes, and it'd be really, really cool to actually import those into Rome, see how it feels to write in there and handle them. So if you want to check out that video, if you want me to make that video, let me know in the comments. That'd be really cool. But yeah, without getting too distracted about the main point, data ownership to me is very important. So I did mention that there was an alternative, the baby between Rome and Obsidian, and that is called, let me show you, roll the drums, logseq, okay, which I believe comes from the meaning of logical sequence, right? The only disadvantage so far is that it doesn't work in Firefox, and I just love Firefox, but I guess it's fine. I also use Brave, another great browser, but it looks like Rome, it acts like Rome. Apparently it's combined with some other features. Here it says, it's right here, right? So like, logseq is influenced by Rome research, especially when it comes to the graph, the daily nodes, the backlinks, and then it has some of the outliner UX of workflowy. And in TidyWiki, it has the idea of transclusions, content, and org mode, which is one of my favorite things ever. It has a headings properties and repeated tasks and time tracking. So I can't say how excited I am for this. I started playing with it yesterday. That's why, using Rome didn't feel like that. Like that foreign, because this is very similar to Rome. And again, the biggest reason why I really like it so far is because it's open source. Well, don't quote me on that. I'm not sure if it's open source yet. I think they have the plans to open source on it. But it is local files, such as Obsidian, right? Obsidian is not open source, but it allows you to have your local files, so your Markdown files or .org files in this case, and you can just save them where you want. You can sync them. You can have them in something like GitHub, which is a place where you can just store your information. And yeah, it looks amazing because it has all the benefits of Rome, but you get to own your notes and it's free, right? So I'm definitely going to be making videos on it. I'm super excited. I am so excited to see how it can integrate with Obsidian. But again, before I started properly digging into it, and also making videos about it, I wanted to take a proper look at Rome and give it a chance. So if you still want me to explore Rome, let me know. But if you're excited for this because it's free and it's just as amazing, but with you owning your own notes, is the best of all worlds. So yeah, I hope you're excited for that. And yeah, so can't wait to make videos on that. Also, if you want to learn more about Obsidian, which I think is such a powerful tool, especially if your goal is taking notes, knowledge management, and Zettelkasten, if you know what that is, which is just an amazing thing that you can build to increase your learning and your creative output, do take a look at my Obsidian online course, the Obsidian Power User. And yeah, it just takes you from a beginner to a master of your notes. And also, I'm going to be releasing a lot of different modules and videos on how to actually, develop workflows so that you can make the most out of your notes. So if you're interested in that, do check it out. There's a link in the description. But with that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any video requests. And again, I'm going to be making videos on logseq, which is going to be amazing, the best of Obsidian and Rome. And it can also be combined with Obsidian in tons of ways. So yeah, excited for that. And yeah, feel free to check out the course again. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye.